In this video, we are talking about something that shocks a lot of people when they are relocating to Texas, and that is property taxes. And you may think, so there are property taxes, big deal. There are property taxes everywhere. But the thing about the Dallas-Fort Worth area and a lot of Texas really is there is so much variation with taxes here. You can literally pay thousands of dollars less on the same priced home just a few miles away. So it might not be the most thrilling subject, but understanding DFW property taxes could save you thousands of dollars and a lot of headaches in the future. So in this video, we are going to break down exactly how property taxes work in the DFW metroplex and what you can expect to pay. Now, before we jump into the nitty-gritty details, let's clarify what property taxes are and why they're so important for you as a potential homeowner in the Dallas area. And stick around because later in this video, I will also show you how to calculate your potential property taxes so you can plan your finances with precision. And trust me, it's a lot easier than you might think. So let's lift the lid a little on the truth about property taxes right here in Dallas and make sure you are equipped with all the knowledge you need to make informed decisions. All right, let's get to the basics. Property taxes. You've probably heard of them, but what exactly are they? Simply put, property taxes are annual taxes that homeowners are required to pay based on the value of their property. Now, these taxes are crucial because they fund a variety of public services, which we'll dive into later. Now, every homeowner in the country pays property taxes, but the rates and the way they're calculated can vary significantly from one place to another. In the simplest terms, your property taxes are calculated by taking the assessed value of your property, that's how much the local government thinks your property is worth, and multiplying it by the local tax rate. For example, if your home is assessed at $300,000 and your local tax rate is 2%, well, then your annual property taxes would be $6,000. Now, why should you as a potential homeowner care about this? Because your property taxes impact your monthly mortgage payments and your overall budget. They can fluctuate, and any increase can significantly affect how much you pay every month. And that's why understanding property taxes where you're looking to buy isn't just helpful, it's essential. Knowing how these taxes work can help you plan better, budget smarter, and avoid surprises down the line. Now, Texas has no state income tax, and that is a great thing. However, it compensates with property tax rates that are on the higher side compared to the national average. And here in DFW, property taxes are a vital part of local government funding, and they play a key role in financing schools, roads, and emergency services. It's important to note that property tax rates are determined by multiple taxing authorities, including the city, county, and school districts. Each district has its own rate, and when combined, they make up your total tax rate. That's why when shopping for a new home, it's crucial to look at the specific rates for each district that applies to the property. Now take a look at this resource. I know your eyes might be crossing about now, but this is how much variance we have in property tax rates just in Dallas County. Now for Dallas County, Highland Park has the lowest tax rate of 1.658 476. And the part of Balch Springs that's zoned for Mesquite ISD is the highest at 2.439075 per $100 of assessed value. At the recording of this video, tax rates for 2024 have not yet been set by the local taxing entities. So this is a look at 2023 tax rates. And tax rates can change year over year. Now, it has been my experience that these changes are very minimal. And last year, because of tax rate compression that went into effect from the property tax relief bill passed by the Texas legislature, the tax rates actually went down. There are several factors that can influence how much you end up paying in taxes. First up, property assessments. This is where it all begins. The county appraisal district is responsible for assessing the value of properties throughout their respective county. They review property values every year to ensure they reflect current market conditions. And assessments are influenced by various factors, including sales of comparable homes from the previous year, your home's size, age, and any improvements or renovations you've made, like a pool or an outdoor kitchen. An increase in your home's assessed value could lead to higher property taxes, unless there are mitigating factors or exemptions. Now let's talk exemptions. There are several property tax exemptions that can reduce your property tax value and consequently your tax bill. The most common is the homestead exemption, available to all homeowners on their primary residence. This exemption not only lowers your property value for tax purposes, but also limits the percentage increase of your assessed value each year, protecting you from sharp spikes in your tax bill. Now that's your homestead exemption cap. So homeowners who had this exemption cap prior to to the run-up of home prices during COVID have benefited greatly from this cap since it doesn't reset and stays at a 10% cap every year, meaning you can only be assessed up to a maximum of 10% over your previous year's assessment. So let's do the math. If last year you were assessed at $400,000, this year you can only be assessed on $440,000, and then only $484,000 the following year, and so on. Now, side note, the homestead exemption cap does reset if you make a substantial improvement on your home, like adding an addition to your home or a pool. So keep that in mind if you want to make improvements down the road. And if you're a senior citizen or you have a disability, additional exemptions can further reduce your property tax burden. Now, each of these exemptions require specific criteria to be met, so it is essential to apply through and check with the local appraisal district to take advantage of them. Now, when you pay property taxes here, you're not just filling a government coffer, you are directly contributing to the community's infrastructure and services. So let's break down exactly where your property tax dollars are going and what benefits they bring to you and your neighbors. The largest portion of your property taxes goes to public education, paying for teachers' salaries, school supplies, and the maintenance of school facilities. There's a portion that supports public safety. This includes the fire department, police, and emergency medical services. Another portion is allocated to city infrastructure and recreational services. This includes the upkeep of parks, libraries, and public roadways. Now, in Texas, some properties are located in special taxing districts. Like on this chart, you can see there's quite a bit of them floating around Dallas County, and every county will have their own set of special districts. Now, the majority of these districts are MUDs and PIDs. These are taxing districts on top of other taxing districts. Now, a MUD is a municipal utility district. This is set up to provide the infrastructure systems for water, sewer, and stormwater drainage when they aren't provided by the city. So you will usually see these in suburbs in newer developments. Now, the developer creates a MUD that uses the sales of bonds to raise the funds needed to build the infrastructure when they're developing a subdivision. Now, each property in that MUD district pays off those bonds, usually in 20 to 30 years, and the tax decreases over time. Now, a PID is a property improvement district and is also used to develop infrastructure systems like water, sewer, and stormwater drainage. But PID funds can also be used for sidewalks, roadways, and landscaping in parks. Now, PID taxes are done when the tax on each home is paid in full, and they could be spread out 20 to 30 years. A homeowner can pay this full amount up front. And these are also more commonly seen in the suburbs, just like a MUD. Okay, so you have all these numbers floating around. How do you calculate what your property taxes will actually be on a home you're interested in buying? So it all starts with two key pieces of information: the assessed value of your property and the tax rate. First, you need to know the assessed value of the property you're considering buying. You can Google the County Appraisal District website and look up the current assessed value using the property address. Take that value, divide by 100, then multiply it by the total tax rate. So if you use this chart right here and you're looking at a property in the city of Dallas that's zoned for Dallas ISD, well, based on 2023 values, that tax rate is 2.294781. So if that house is $500,000, divide by 100, multiply by the tax rate, and you get $11,473.61 for that 2023 tax rate. Also, the appraisal website does generally have the total tax due listed on their site for that property. So many times you can actually skip the math on this first calculation. However, I advise my clients to not solely focus on the current assessed value. The reason is that assessed value is only good for that current year. When a deed changes on a property, the appraisal district will reassess the property. The exemptions from the previous owner will get removed, and that super helpful homestead cap gets removed with it. So if you want to know the true cost of owning that home after the first year, calculate the taxes based off your purchase price. Because even though Texas is a non-disclosure state and your sales price is not a matter of public record, somehow they find out or at least get really close to what you paid for the house. So if your house that you're looking at is currently assessed at $500,000, but you're buying it for $600,000, and remember, you divide that by 100 and multiply it by the tax rate of 2.294781, that means the taxes for year 2 of owning that home will be $13,768.69. That's about a $2,300 difference. And if part of your mortgage payment is to pay into an escrow account for those taxes, well, your lender will not know this increase is happening until they get the tax bill, which is way after the fact that they should have been collecting for that increased amount. So you could actually end up with an escrow account shortage that you will be forced to make up, resulting in an even higher monthly mortgage payment. So to prevent that from happening, just create a little savings bucket for yourself in your second year of homeownership and save the money as if you were having to go ahead and make the payment anyway. As homeowners, one of the smartest things we can do is actively manage our property taxes to ensure we are not paying more than what is necessary. One of the great things about Texas is that you can protest your assessed value if you feel it's inaccurate. I actually have another video I made about this where I go into the steps on how you can do that, and I even have a guide for you to download that will help you through the process. I was able to interview a local tax assessor for tips, so it is super helpful with a lot of great information. And I'll link to that with this video description. Now, when you close on your home and get your updated driver's license with your home address on it, go ahead and file your homestead exemption with the local appraisal district and any other exemptions that you might be eligible for. And if you have any questions on any of this, the local appraisal district for where your property is located will be your best resource. Also, the Texas Comptroller of Public Accounts provides a wealth of information on property taxes across the state, including guides on taxpayer rights and responsibilities. Now, once people learn about property taxes in Texas, I often get asked where the cheapest taxes are. And it sounds straightforward, right? Well, as many of you might have guessed, finding a home in the cheapest tax areas is a little bit more complex than it seems, especially when you're looking at a large and diverse area like the DFW metroplex. On a macro scale, across a city or a county, tax rates can vary widely. This variation is due to differing needs and budgets of local governments, which can influence how much tax is levied on properties in their jurisdictions. You can even have two houses in the same neighborhood with different tax rates, and that's because the neighborhood is divided between two school districts. But don't let this discourage you. While it is challenging to compare tax rates across a large region at once, the task becomes much more manageable when you narrow down your search to a few specific neighborhoods or areas. And while it's not always the case, for a lot of new construction neighborhoods, that is where you're going to run into a lot of those special tax districts like MUDs and PIDs. And you can generally avoid those if you want to with older homes, like 20-plus-year-old homes. And remember, while lower tax rates can be appealing, they're just one piece of the puzzle. Consider other factors like school quality, public services, and other property values in the area. A slightly higher tax rate in a neighborhood might be worth it if it comes with greater benefits and amenities that work for the lifestyle you're looking for. And property taxes might seem daunting, but with the right resources and expert advice, you can manage them effectively. You are not alone in this. There's help available to guide you every step of the way. If we have not met yet, I am Jennifer Shannon. I'm a realtor and broker associate with the Crest Edge Group at Keller Williams, and our team loves helping people when relocating to DFW. We know that when you are starting the process of relocating to the Dallas area, you want all the data, all the details, and want to feel well informed about the entire process. You're on multiple sites, multiple apps, just soaking in all the information you can get so you can feel confident you are making a smart decision when deciding on where to move in the area. We get you, and we want to be your real estate resource of choice. If you are ready to hit that easy button on your relocation journey to Dallas, simply reach out by phone or text to 214-803-4444 or start with an email to me at jshannon@kw.com. I'll get back to you with a scheduling link for us to start with a Zoom call so we can learn more about what you're looking for in a home here in Dallas and find out any specific questions you want answered about relocating to DFW. I'll also have that posted in the description of this video so you can go ahead and get that scheduled. Now, if you found this video helpful, remember to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more tips about relocating to the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and hit that notification bell to stay updated. Well, that is all I have for this video. Be sure to check out another one on this channel, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!